The big concern also for India is also the impact that this crisis is going to have on oil prices. Oil prices are climbing over fears that the Ukraine-Russia crisis will disrupt supply chains across the world. Futures of Brent crude, that is the international benchmark, reached an 8-year high of almost $98 on Tuesday after Russia's actions. Russia, remember, is the second largest exporter of crude oil after Saudi Arabia, and it's also the world's top producer of natural gas.
Rightly said, when you look at it, the tension that we're seeing building in between Russia, Ukraine, and obviously the Western countries coming in as well, that has surely created a fear in the commodities market. Look at the Brent crude price. The oil price is surging quite high. Brent crude has actually crossed about the $96 per barrel mark as well. So surely a sharp impact coming in because, there's a fear that there could be some supplies issues coming in on the commodity side. Commodity prices are rising because of that. Export level controls could be there. Sanctions also could see some impact coming in, which we could see on Russia. Now, why is that so important? Is because Russia actually is one of the important producers of crude when you look at it. Now, increase in commodity overall, they produce around 10 million barrels per day, which is actually accounts to 1/10 of the total global consumption of daily consumption of crude that you could see coming in. So surely that's a very, very big number coming in, being one of the top producers as well, and that could obviously disrupt the commodities market, the crude market as well. And this escalation, experts believe that because of this escalation, the crude prices could actually touch the $120 per barrel mark as well. So surely impact coming in over there. Now, other than that, natural resources also. When you look at it, Russia is actually one of the top leaders in terms of natural resources as well. Around $75 trillion dollars of natural resources come in from Russia, top among the other countries as well. So energy, that is an impact that we could see coming in over there because 35% of natural gas which is supplied to European Union comes from Russia. Metal prices also always rising. Nickel, aluminum, you see the rise in these prices as well. They are at a multi-year high as well because Russia controls around 10% of the global reserves for copper, significant producer of nickel and platinum as well. Other than that, obviously, whether you see they account around 30% of the world's iron as well, which is held by Russia. World's 6th largest producer in terms of coal, contains coal reserves, second only to the US as well, and produces 3.9% of the world's steel as well. So surely major impact coming in on these natural gas resources, and that is something that we will keep an eye out on, both the agris, non-agri commodities, because Ukraine actually is an agricultural country where they export barley, corn, wheat, which are among the top 5 exporters in the world. So surely keeping focus on all the commodities.
International worrisome situations where we actually voiced that we want a diplomatic solution for the situation that is developing in Ukraine. All these are headwinds. On the crude, obviously, is one of the very important consideration. We'll have to see how it goes. Today itself, the rate is somewhere in the range of 96 Brent. So we'll keep a watch.
Okay, so the Ukraine crisis obviously is not just a conflict in far-off Europe. It's a conflict that is going to have an impact on your life, on my life. It goes beyond foreign policy. It affects our day-to-day living as well, with, as my colleagues were just explaining, in terms of the impact that it is going to have on fuel prices. Let's actually delve a little into that. Soumit Debajit Sarkar from Times Network joins us. Soumit, the conflict is not one which is testing only on India's foreign policy. At the end of the day, it's also going to impact the common man's pocket.
Yes, you're right that the increase in fuel prices will, the increase in Brent crude prices will impact the common man's pockets also, because the retail fuel prices will tend to rise. But at this moment, if you see, for many days, the retail fuel prices, that is the petrol and the diesel prices, have actually not changed. And this could be because of the election period, because in the past also we have tend to see that during the election season, the retail fuel prices don't change. And post that, we can see a big hike that could come in, because the Brent crude is now trading at around $98, $99 per barrel mark. And the current fuel prices are not reflecting that increase in the Brent crude prices. So hence, post-election period, we can see a bump up or a sharp increase in the retail fuel prices, which will definitely impact the common man.
Soumit, thank you so much for that here on Mirror Now. Of course, we're going to continue to track all the developments that are unfolding on the Ukraine-Russia border, and of course also what that means for India.